The deafening sound echoed through the air, shattering like broken glass, its sharpness piercing the void. There's no time to waste, let's make a move. As the faint tremors of spatial vortices began to spread, the Devourer of Souls spoke. The fourth floor was already in ruins, and it was imperative to resolve matters here quickly in order to enter the core area. Otherwise, if the Earth Spirit Hall's experts discovered the disturbances inside the Earth Spirit Tower and sent powerful cultivators to intercept Xiao Yan, this would be the end of it for the Earth Spirit Tower. Only by reaching the deepest part of the Earth Spirit Tower could they avoid the pursuit of the Earth Pavilion's leader. If Mo Tianwen, an 8-star Do Xian, came after them, it would be nearly impossible for the two of them to handle. After all, the Devourer of Souls' current strength only barely reached the early 8-star Do Xian stage. Moreover, he could not reveal his true identity, and his combat ability was severely limited. All right. Xiao Yan nodded lightly. What great fortune lies in this fourth floor. I hope it won't disappoint me. His deep, sharp gaze fixed on the black scroll in his hand, radiating a fierce energy as he muttered. From the heavy look in Xiao Zifen's eyes before he left, it was clear that the so-called great fortune was the very scroll Xiao Zifen had handed to him. Activate. After a brief pause, Xiao Yan gently stroked the scroll. Immediately, an overwhelming pressure surged from it, filling the space. Before this, Xiao Yan had already passed on Xiao Gui's details and how to locate him to Xiao Zifen and the others. In the end, despite Xiao Zifen's insistence on fleeing with him, Xiao Yan refused. He knew that with Xiao Zifen's strength, they could escape, but Xiao Yan's goal was not the fourth floor. After some persuasion, Xiao Zifen and Uroer had left, leaving Xiao Yan behind. Whoosh! The next moment, waves of shadow energy rippled out, glowing brilliantly like a sea of stars, illuminating the entire fourth floor of the Earth Spirit Tower. This is Shadow Ruler? Xiao Yan's gaze snapped to the scroll in his hand, his voice filled with disbelief. At that moment, black liquid, like a viscous fluid, slowly emerged from the surface of the black scroll. Xiao Yan's perception told him that this liquid contained an extremely terrifying power, one that resembled the Shadow Ruler technique Xiao Zifen had just used. The power and lethality of the Shadow Ruler were likely among the top in the Shadow system. Most importantly, it could absorb power and merge into the darkness, waiting for a perfect opportunity to strike. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that this technique was similar to a summoning skill, but the difference was that the Shadow Ruler could create a shadow mimicking the user's own strength. The shadow would lurk around the battlefield like an assassin. Once the enemy let their guard down, the shadow could easily slit their throat. Moreover, the stealth of the Shadow Ruler was undetectable, unless the enemy had immense strength, such as a powerful light element cultivator. Otherwise, this technique was nearly invincible. Imagine the torment of constantly being on edge, never knowing when an unseen enemy might strike. The mental strain would be unbearable. Didn't expect this guy to be so generous, the Devourer of Souls said, surprised, as he saw the words Shadow Ruler slowly emerge from the black liquid. Master, what is this technique? Xiao Yan asked, his mind racing. It was clear that the Shadow Ruler and the black liquid were far from ordinary. This should belong to the realm of celestial techniques, the Devourer of Souls explained. I'm not sure about its exact classification, but I can tell that this is an extremely deadly dose skill. Once it's activated, you won't need to control it. It has its own intelligence and will float around the battlefield, searching for an opening to deliver a fatal blow. This will be your best helper in combat. Good stuff. Xiao Yan grinned, his excitement evident, as he focused all his attention on the scroll. Shadow Ruler. It feeds on shadow energy to forge powerful shadow creatures with immense attack power. It truly is a lethal move. Looking at the simple description, Xiao Yan felt his blood boil with excitement. Let's move, the Devourer of Souls urged. Come to me. Xiao Yan shouted, his heart racing as the flame mantra within his body surged into overdrive. He immediately drew the black liquid from the scroll. Swoosh. The black liquid, drawn in by Xiao Yan's intense energy, obediently flowed into his body, following his cultivation technique. Mid-stage of 4-star Do Xian. One day, Xiao Yan's pupils suddenly opened, and a powerful aura enveloped his body. He immediately laughed. Xiao Yan had not expected that the energy from the shadow system would actually elevate his strength to the mid-stage of 4-star Docian. What about the shadow ruler? Suddenly, the devourer of souls asked. Right, the shadow ruler? Xiao Yan exclaimed, quickly searching within his body. After all, the main focus of this time was the shadow ruler, and the power increase was somewhat unexpected. How is it not here? It's impossible. I cultivated according to the method in the scroll, absorbing the shadow system energy, compressing it with my Do core, and forming the spirit seed of the shadow ruler within my body. Once I activated the spirit seed, the shadow ruler should appear. But why is there no movement now? Xiao Yan said, his face full of confusion as he carefully sensed his body, feeling perplexed. Vroom vroom. At that moment, as Xiao Yan wondered, a violent fluctuation suddenly erupted from within his empty Do Chi Si. The Do Chi Si, at this point, only had 2 Do cores, fire and wood, along with the Do Soul and the Flame Beast in a dormant state. However, what erupted with dazzling waves was a black light point. This black point was like an intruder in an unfamiliar place, fiercely resisted by the other entities. This should be the spirit seed of the shadow ruler, but Xiao Yan was still puzzled when the spirit seed's color in the Do Chi Si slowly began to change from black. Sizzle! A brilliant flame aura surged from the fire elemental Do core and shot toward the shadow ruler's spirit seed like an enemy invading its territory. Immediately, the black spirit seed turned into a strange fiery red. Whoosh whoosh! At the same time, a red phantom slowly appeared behind Xiao Yan, illuminated by faint light. Master! The space around him grew quiet, and then the red figure behind Xiao Yan suddenly spoke. This is the shadow ruler? Xiao Yan exclaimed in surprise. Wait, no, this is likely the mutated shadow ruler, because within him, there's no more shadow system energy, only intense fire system energy, said the devourer of souls. Since that's the case, I'll call you the fire guard ruler. Xiao Yan said with a satisfied smile upon seeing this. Fire guard ruler? That's not a bad name, the devourer of souls chuckled. This guy's true combat power can probably only be understood through actual battle. For now, there's no rush, he continued. Just as he finished speaking, the red figure behind Xiao Yan gradually faded, and everything returned to normal. However, Xiao Yan knew that the mutated fire guard ruler's strength should not be underestimated. After all, it was fused with his own fire attribute energy, which was far superior to that of others at the same level. Therefore, the fire guard ruler's power had increased exponentially. Although the shadow ruler has mutated into the fire guard ruler, I remember this guy has the power to open the gates of the netherworld. But throughout history, no one has ever been able to explore it. Looking at Xiao Yan, the devourer of souls murmured. His voice carried a trace of astonishment, clearly implying that even someone as powerful as the ruler of the soul-devouring domain was somewhat fearful of the so-called netherworld. The netherworld? Xiao Yan furrowed his brows, a trace of confusion appearing on his face. The netherworld is quite special. If you have the time, you might want to visit. There should be many good things there for you. The devourer of souls grinned. Okay, I'll keep that in mind, Xiao Yan nodded slowly. Clearly, the devourer of souls was not speaking without reason. Let's go. This place is about to collapse, the devourer of souls said. Seeing Xiao Yan compose himself, the two of them then shook their bodies and entered a spatial passage, heading deeper into the core, which was fixed, not a random teleportation. The 5th level of the Earth Spirit Tower was fixed, as it was the place where the Earth Spirit Hall's treasures resided. Vroom vroom. Is it an illusion? Why does it feel like the aura of an 8-star Docian expert is spreading within the Earth Spirit Tower? At that moment, from the deepest part of the Earth Spirit Tower, a dry voice slowly emerged, then fell silent again. However, the energy in that voice was even stronger than that of the 8-star Docian initial stage disciples and their academy leaders. And here was the core of the Earth Spirit Tower, the 5th level. Xiao Xiao Zifan and his companion had just escaped from the Earth Spirit Tower when they were ambushed by powerful figures from the Earth Academy. However, their strength allowed them to easily dodge the attack, and after a brief skirmish, they managed to outwit their pursuers. They quickly headed towards Xiao Gui's location. Meanwhile, the Earth Academy was in a state of unrest, as the strange occurrences coming from the Earth Spirit Tower had made everyone uneasy. Several powerful individuals from the Earth Spirit Tower had already left, which was a disaster for the Earth Academy. The Earth Spirit Tower wasn't just a storage place for the Academy's treasures. It also suppressed countless enemies that posed a threat to the Lord of Souls. Furthermore, the 7 Resurrection Soul Lamp was the Academy's most important treasure. If it were to be lost again, the Academy's senior figures might face impeachment by the other academies. After all, this lamp had been personally entrusted to the Earth Spirit Tower by the Lord of Souls, and it's said that no one except the Lord of Souls knows what it looks like, even those within the Earth Academy. Let's discuss. What should we do now? In a rather grand hall within the Earth Academy, 5 figures stood, exuding immense power. Clearly, they were among the strongest members of the Academy. Among them were Sect Masters Yuan and AI. The other 3 were highly mysterious figures. If the Lord of Souls were present, he would recognize them immediately as the current headmaster, vice headmaster, and the Academy's CEO. The headmaster and vice headmaster were rarely involved in Academy affairs, busy with their own matters, so most decisions were left to the 3 sect masters and the CEO. Lord, the one who entered the Earth Spirit Tower, is named Xiao Yan. He was specifically protected by the Spirit Academy's headmaster, and because of an agreement with his subordinates. After a brief silence, Sect Masters Yuan and AI's expressions darkened. They had no idea that Xiao Yan was so formidable, causing such turmoil in the Earth Spirit Tower. They had made a deal with Sect Master Ling Feng, but in the end, Xiao Yan single-handedly turned the situation around. So now the Earth Academy couldn't simply step in and end Xiao Yan's trial without reason. Esteemed lords, here's what happened. The CEO explained the events that led up to the situation. Fools! The vice headmaster couldn't help but scold as he frowned upon hearing the CEO's recount. You 2 are supposed to be revered sect masters within the Earth Academy. How could you be so clueless? Fine, there's nothing we can do now. After a moment of reflection, the headmaster slowly opened his deep eyes and shook his head. Since Xiao Yan was under the protection of the Spirit Academy's headmaster, along with the agreement between the Earth Academy and him, even if they acted, it wouldn't be easy to take Xiao Yan out of the Earth Spirit Tower. After all, the headmaster of the Spirit Academy was known for being very protective of his own. Let's not mention this again. Everything remains as it is, the headmaster said seriously after a while. But Lord, this man is too strange. If he were to intercept our Academy's supreme treasure, the vice headmaster spoke up, unable to contain his worries. If that truly happens, we will have no choice but to accept it. All right, that's enough. With that, the figure at the head of the group disappeared, leaving the rest of the powerful figures stunned. Sigh. They exchanged glances, then shook their heads in resignation and left. At least you know your place. But recently, something feels off. The Lord of Souls' whereabouts are rather strange, and the guards in his temple have increased significantly. I wonder if something has happened. Outside the hall, the Spirit Academy's headmaster also vanished, clearly worried ever since Xiao Yan entered the Earth Spirit Tower. Back in the Spirit Academy, with the headmaster's actions and the departure of 2 sect masters, the only remaining sect master was busy managing the academy, but fortunately, the Earth Spirit domain continued to maintain its order. In the Earth Spirit Tower, time passed, and Xiao Yan slowly made his way to the deepest part of the tower, where the main event of this visit was taking place. The 5th level of the Earth Spirit Tower. The 5th level is almost here. I hope the 7 Resurrection Soul Lamp is really here, Xiao Yan thought. His mind filled with concern as he saw the dazzling light at the end of the space tunnel. In the next moment, his speed surged, and he rushed forward. Strange. There seems to be a familiar aura here. Is it just an illusion? Hidden within Xiao Yan, the Lord of Souls slightly shook his head. Tick-tock, tick-tock. The sound of dripping water echoed through the air. eerily silent yet carrying an almost magical charm. It was as if anyone who listened carefully would be drawn into its control. Quite a strange sensation. Glub, glub. A wave of shifting space reverberated through the air, and in an instant, Xiao Yan's figure passed through the final barrier of the space passage, entering the deepest part of the Earth Spirit Tower. This was the 5th level of the Earth Spirit Tower. Such immense pressure. The dazzling white light around him had not yet faded when Xiao Yan felt an overwhelming force spreading across his body. He could not help but speak with difficulty. Just as he was about to explore his surroundings, the blinding light enveloped him completely. Hoo-hoo. During this time, Xiao Yan remained motionless. After a few breaths, as the white light slowly dissipated, the full view of the space finally filled his mind. Glub. Is this really the 5th level? As his gaze swept around, a wave of shock surged through Xiao Yan's heart. He swallowed hard, his throat dry, and looked up at the terrifying scene before him, unable to stop himself from exclaiming. The 5th level of the Earth Spirit Tower was the very core of the tower, where the most dazzling aura of the world emanated. Looking around, the entire space appeared as pure and transparent as a sheet of white paper. White occupied about 90% of the space, with only a small portion remaining for other colors. Standing in the void of the 5th level, Xiao Yan looked down, and a rather peculiar scene appeared at the center of this white world. Even with his current strength and soul power, the moment his eyes locked on the center of the white world, he could not help but shudder. The white world was as immaculate as a blank sheet of paper, with a special force in the space that oppressed Xiao Yan. However, at the very center of the space, the pressure became even more intense. At the center stood 2 towering ancient trees, each over 100 feet tall. The trees were simple and unadorned, yet mysterious patterns spread across their trunks, as if they were guarding something. A unique fragrance filled the air around the trees, and it was this fragrance that made Xiao Yan instinctively alert. They seemed to be protecting something, Xiao Yan muttered to himself as he gazed at the ancient trees, their branches and leaves flourishing. Be cautious. There might be a powerful presence in this space. The voice of the Devourer of Souls became faint, as if trying to sense the source of the aura. However, due to its need to remain hidden, the Devourer of Souls did not dare use too much power, and thus could not uncover any secrets. Since we've come this far, we can't leave empty-handed. Let's go take a look. After a brief pause, Xiao Yan calmed his mind and, using the power of the void, moved toward the 2 ancient trees. In the blink of an eye, Xiao Yan reached the center of the 5th level. As soon as he did, he immediately retreated, leaving the protective range of the ancient trees. His brow furrowed as he narrowly avoided stepping into the tree's coverage. The destructive power within that range made Xiao Yan's heart grow cold. Now standing at the edge of the 2 towering ancient trees, Xiao Yan's eyes widened as he took in the full view of the space around him. The 2 ancient trees stood only a few dozen meters apart, yet a dense force completely enveloped the area between them, as if protecting something precious. Xiao Yan's gaze, however, pierced through this mysterious force, and his pupils constricted as he focused on a mysterious object at the center of the trees. At the center of the 2 trees lay an ordinary scene. A wooden table, seemingly unremarkable, sat between them. The table was round, supported by a single leg, and on top of it rested an object that looked like a copper-colored lamp. Slowly, it entered Xiao Yan's line of sight. Is this the 7 Resurrection Soul Lamp? Xiao Yan's pupils grew heavy, and his lips became dry. The 7 Resurrection Soul Lamp? This isn't an immortal artifact, nor a martial technique or method, but its effect is astonishing. With this soul lamp, one's soul power can be preserved from destruction, and through its mysterious properties, it can eventually restore one to their peak. I've seen it once before, and I know how it works. But at that time, it wasn't in the soul-devouring domain, nor was it in the hands of the Devourer of Souls. Staring at the 7 Resurrection Soul Lamp in front of him, neither Xiao Yan nor the Devourer of Souls dared to act rashly. Where exactly did the 7 Resurrection Soul Lamp come from? Xiao Yan asked in confusion upon hearing his teacher speak. This item, The Devourer of Souls replied word by word. If I am not mistaken, probably originates from the Ghost Realm's most mysterious place, the Shadow Soul Ghost Cave. There was a hint of heaviness in his tone when mentioning the so-called Shadow Soul Ghost Cave. Shadow Soul Ghost Cave? Xiao Yan exclaimed. Although he didn't know much about the place, he understood clearly that it was undoubtedly the most dangerous location in the Ghost Realm, without exception. This alone showed how deeply mysterious this place was, ranked as one of the most enigmatic areas in the Ghost Realm. As soon as the words were spoken, Xiao Yan's gaze shifted toward the 7 resurrection soul lamp below. On the wooden table, the bronze lamp stood quietly. It was only as large as an arm, and the base of the lamp, which supported it, was formed from threads of silver light points. Standing before the silver light points, Xiao Yan suddenly felt incredibly small. As he looked down at the base, the lamp's pillars were round and smooth, as if infused with some mysterious power, wrapped in countless secretive patterns. These patterns contained not just images of birds and beasts, but also dragon and phoenix motifs, full of mystery and special energy. At the top of the lamp, the wick flickered with a faint yellow flame. Upon closer inspection, Xiao Yan noticed there were 7 wicks, each containing a terrifying power that seemed capable of making the heavens tremble. 7 flames emerged from each wick, circling around the lamp's edge, while the center of the round tray that held the lamp seemed to pulse with a mysterious rhythm, a soft, almost imperceptible throb. "Little brat, it's time to end this." A moment later, an ancient voice resonated through the white space, as if echoing the chants of sacred mantras. The sound filled the entire area, and at its arrival, Xiao Yan's sacred flame heart and various places within his spirit palace trembled intensely, as if automatically defending against a lethal threat. A formidable foe. Even judging by just the voice, Xiao Yan could tell that the strength of this mysterious figure hidden deep within the Earth Spirit Tower was far beyond his ability to handle. And this light sound alone seemed to provoke an immense resistance in Xiao Yan's body, as if countless forces inside him were trying their best to push back, though it was still exceedingly difficult, like an ant attempting to challenge the vast sky. Its outcome was obvious. Boom, boom, boom. Shaken back by the sound, Xiao Yan resisted for a moment before his body was forced into a rapid retreat, as though struck by a bird startled by the bowstring. The ancient voice, though faint, had forced Xiao Yan to this state, which made him grow increasingly wary. With great difficulty, Xiao Yan managed to steady himself and looked around, but he could not find the source of the voice. At the same time, the Devourer of Souls had seemingly vanished, leaving Xiao Yan alone. However, Xiao Yan didn't realize that the Devourer of Souls aura within him had suddenly surged, recovering quickly in just an instant, though Xiao Yan had no idea how it was achieved. "Little brat, the 5th floor of the Earth Spirit Tower is a forbidden area in the entire Ferocious Soul domain. You should leave now." The ancient voice sounded again, but this time, as it resonated, 2 towering ancient trees began to sway, their leaves fluttering with a crisp sound. The space around them was filled with a repelling force against Xiao Yan. Thunderfire King of Hell. Swallowing Flame Technique. Realizing that the 7 Resurrection Soul Lamp was within reach, Xiao Yan bore the oppressive force, unleashing all his skills. Without even noticing, a strange aura began to seep from the center of his brow, as though something was trying to break free. Too weak. Seeing Xiao Yan struggle so stubbornly, the ancient voice appeared again, filled with contempt that was chilling to the bone. Whoosh whoosh. In the blink of an eye, a bolt of lightning suddenly shot out from beside the 2 ancient trees, aimed directly at Xiao Yan. The thunderbolt looked faint, but contained a power Xiao Yan could barely comprehend. It was as if a slight touch would reduce him to dust. Boom. The seemingly insignificant bolt of lightning tore through the air with a solemn energy, heading straight for Xiao Yan. Xiao Yan's face grew grim. At this moment, using the Thunderfire King of Hell to enhance his defenses, his strength had increased significantly, and with the Swallowing Flame technique, he had reached the peak of the 4-star Docian. It's over. After a casual strike, the weathered voice slowly dissipated, as if extremely confident in his attack. He did not focus on Xiao Yan, concealing his aura, and vanished from this place once again. Hmph! A mere mid-8-star Docian dares to harm my disciple. Whoosh! Whoosh! At that moment, just as the destructive thunderbolt column was about to hit Xiao Yan, a dominating and powerful aura suddenly roared out from within Xiao Yan's body. The thunderbolt beam, shocked by such a forceful sound, instantly turned to dust in the void. This aura, how is this possible? The mysterious powerful figure, who had originally intended to retreat into silence, exclaimed in astonishment, his voice echoing throughout the white void. Buzz! The voice of the Devourer of Souls just came from Xiao Yan's body, and immediately, waves of dark and terrifying devouring power, like a tidal wave, spread out from the ground beneath Xiao Yan's feet, expanding endlessly. Glurp! In the silent space, the sound of someone swallowing saliva suddenly echoed, followed by the gradual emergence of the mysterious figure. It was a middle-aged man with a vicious and terrifying face, very intimidating. His body was muscular, and across his muscles were prominent silver lightning runes, containing a shocking and terrifying power. On his arms was a massive battle axe, from which endless lightning radiated. Even a fierce and strange lightning beast was carved onto the axe. The lightning beast's form was bizarre, yet it carried an aura of extreme brutality. Devourer of Souls? Upon noticing the entire white space being filled with the dark, devouring force of the Devourer of Souls, the middle-aged man gasped. Feng Hao, Lord of the Western Divine Palace in the 4 great temples of the Ferocious Soul Lord? Upon hearing the Devourer of Souls speak, Xiao Yan seemed to recall something. The Ferocious Soul Lord's temple had been explained to him once. The Ferocious Soul Lord's temple was the most mysterious void within the Ferocious Soul domain, a place rich in energy. Its exact location was a mystery. Even many rulers of the planes within the Ferocious Soul domain did not know its precise location. The temple was divided into 4 major palaces: East, South, West, and North. The Ferocious Soul Lord resided in the North Temple. Apart from that, the other 3 palaces were the strongest powers under the Ferocious Soul Lord, each palace lord being at the level of 8-star Docian. 8-star Docian, just 4 words, but they represented the peak of power in the Ferocious Soul domain. Xiao Yan didn't know the full extent of the power of an 8-star Docian, but he was clear that once someone of 5-star Docian level obtained a domain, their strength and combat ability would undergo a world-altering change. And not even 6-star Docian could be compared to such a being. 8-star Docian, in the Ferocious Soul domain, was undoubtedly akin to a god in terms of status. The 4 great temples, the Lord of the Western Divine Palace, Feng Hao, a lightning element practitioner, had already reached the peak of his power. He was extremely low-key and was the Ferocious Soul Lord's true right-hand man. But Xiao Yan had no idea that someone as ruthless as him would willingly guard the Earth's Spirit Tower. Could it be that their mission to find the 7 Resurrection Soul Lamp had been leaked, and the Ferocious Soul domain had made plans ahead of time, aiming to prevent the Devourer of Souls from regaining his peak strength? Little brat, you've done well. Now leave the rest to me. In the boundless devouring realm, the Devourer of Souls transformed into a black shadow, speaking with satisfaction to Xiao Yan. As he finished speaking, his devouring power spread over Xiao Yan's body, and the pressure from the mysterious figure began to slowly fade. Teacher, he's very strong. Be careful, Xiao Yan replied, gently nodding. His own strength was always on standby, ready to act at any moment, even if it meant facing injury or death, as he knew that his current achievements were inseparable from the Devourer of Souls. Heh, though I'm not at my peak, dealing with a mid-8-star Docian is still more than enough, the Devourer of Souls said slowly, his voice brimming with a battle-hungry aura. The 7 Resurrection Soul Lamp was right before them. Whether they could defeat someone as strong as Feng Hao, the mid-8-star Docian and the Western Divine Palace's Lord, and obtain the treasure to restore their strength, or if both of them would fall here, remained to be seen. At the edge of the Ferocious Soul domain's void, a massive silver ship, 1,000 zhang in size, was enveloped by the endless power of Devouring. Its movements were concealed, making it extremely difficult to detect. In an instant, it subtly emerged, with the words "Devour Soul" clearly visible on the ship. Inside, there were hundreds of distinct auras, the weakest of which could rival some 5-star Docian experts. This Devour Soul vessel was the work of the Devourer of Souls, and now it had silently avoided the detection of many powerful figures in the ferocious soul domain, entering and pausing within the domain. Queen, we have now entered the ferocious soul domain. What should we do now? At the front of the ship, a graceful and solitary figure stood tall. Her beautiful eyes slightly pierced through the endless void, gazing at the distant ferocious soul domain. Is there any news from Master? Her gaze slowly retracted, nodding lightly, and she asked the handsome young man in front of her. There's no concrete news yet, but according to my subtle investigation, Master's aura seems to have appeared in a region within the ferocious soul domain, known as the Earth Spirit Hall. The young man hesitated before speaking. Earth Spirit Hall? Baze, you are in charge of matters aboard the ship. I must go to the Earth Spirit Hall. As her words fell, her silhouette shifted slightly, and in a flash, a faint pink glow like ripples emanated from her feet, subtly enhancing her elegance and mystery. Queen, there are half of the strongest experts from our devouring soul domain aboard the ship. This is the greatest foundation for rescuing Master and exacting revenge on the ferocious soul domain. If something goes wrong here, I fear I won't be able to explain to Master and the Queen. The young man spoke with a hint of fear. The graceful figure was none other than Xun'er, who now commanded the entire devouring soul domain. Despite being a woman, her strength was terrifying. This time, relying on the mysterious Devour Soul vessel, she had successfully avoided detection by many in the ferocious soul domain and arrived here. But, upon hearing the young man's words, Xun'er gritted her silver teeth, her beautiful eyes flickering with hesitation. Queen, the priority now is to find Master and restore his power to its peak. Everything else will follow. Please don't let the situation become chaotic, Baze advised again. All right. Give the orders. Send scouts to gather intelligence and contact our people embedded in the ferocious soul domain. Investigate everything, leaving no stone unturned. As her words finished, silence once again enveloped the ship. However, beneath the now calm ferocious soul domain, they were unaware that an army composed of supreme beings capable of destroying most of the ferocious soul domain had already floated into position. It seemed that war was only a matter of time. Inside the Earth Spirit Tower, Devourer of Souls, you're not dead? Impossible. Looking at the extremely dark object in front of him, which emitted an incredibly terrifying devouring force, Feng Hao's expression turned grim. When the ferocious soul domain had launched a large-scale attack on the devouring soul domain, they had all participated. However, even then, it was hard to defeat the devouring soul domain. Fortunately, supreme beings from other realms had intervened to assist the ferocious soul domain's master, ultimately leading to the defeat of the devouring soul domain. After that battle, the Devourer of Souls was severely injured, and his whereabouts remained unknown. As a result, the ferocious soul domain claimed the top spot in the ghost realm. Yet, the ferocious soul domain's master had clearly told them that the Devourer of Souls had perished in that battle, unable to be reborn. Thus, the two domains had lived in peace for these years. Otherwise, with the vengeful nature of the devouring soul domain, they would have surely sought revenge on the ferocious soul domain for such a disgrace. Dead. If ferocious soul doesn't die, how could I easily fall? This time, I will make you pay for everything you did to our devouring soul domain. From the dark mass, the Devourer of Souls' mad laughter echoed, resonating like thunder across the entire devouring soul realm. Devourer of Souls, though you are the ruler of a domain, your aura is still quite faint. I fear that your strength is not even at the mid-8-star Docian level. If the mighty Devourer of Souls, the ruler of the devouring soul domain, were to fall by my hand, my name, Feng Hao, would echo throughout the ghost realm. At that time, a flash of black lightning flickered in Feng Hao's eyes, and he smiled. Thousands of ghosts bowing, Ghost God Army. In the blink of an eye, roar erupted from the black mass of chi surrounding the Devourer of Souls. Immediately, within the Devouring realm, countless eerie, ominous, ghostly auras writhed and twisted. Suddenly, they transformed into lifelike, towering soldiers, and upon closer inspection, there were no fewer than tens of thousands of them. These soldiers, made entirely of brilliant ghostly chi, exuded an aura of extreme violence that was enough to leave one stunned. This is it. The Devourer of Souls' actions were undoubtedly a declaration of full-scale war against Feng Hao. However, with the existence of the Devouring realm, escape was impossible for Feng Hao. Thunder Beast. Punishment of 10,000 thunders. Upon noticing the tens of thousands of powerful ghostly soldiers surrounding the Devourer of Souls, as if protecting their king, Feng Hao dared not hold back. He knew very well that the Devourer of Souls was a powerful 8-star Do Xian with a perfected level of power. Even though Feng Hao was severely injured, the gap between the mid-stage 8-star Do Xian and the perfected level might seem small, but that tiny difference was as insurmountable as a vast chasm. Wham! Wham! Tens of thousands of soldiers surged forward with overwhelming momentum, charging directly at Feng Hao. The power behind their rush seemed capable of tearing apart an 8-star Do Xian. Boom! At that moment, Feng Hao unleashed his most formidable techniques. Fiendish patterns burst from his body, shining brightly, and suddenly, black thunderclouds swarmed across the sky of the Devouring realm. Roars echoed from within the clouds as bolts of black lightning crackled, releasing a violent and malevolent aura. Is this the battle between 8-star Do Xian level experts? Watching the earth-shattering fluctuations between the two, Xiao Yan quickly retreated to the side. His gaze fixed on them, unable to contain his words. Xiao Yan knew that even the smallest trace of such powerful energy could easily obliterate him. Boom! Countless bolts of black lightning surged from the thunderclouds and collided directly with the tens of thousands of ghostly soldiers led by the Devourer of Souls. For a moment, their attacks seemed to reach some kind of balance, slowly dissipating. Boom!